Today's topic is leadership development in uncertain times. Let's address two issues. One is leadership development and uncertain times. Now, my work around leadership development and executive coaching is informed by my own belief in the work around performance of any person, be it a leader, be it a student or a sport athlete, is equal to potential minus internal interference. It is this potential that we will speak about how to up our game and do better amount of leadership in uncertain times. Now, there is something about leadership development which I want to speak about. Look, this whole circle, which comprises of four parts. Leadership development is organization development and human development. Now, look at that quadrant between 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. That's leader development. That's really called executive coaching, and that's what I do. What's the rest? Look, some of you over here who are in leadership positions, be it in corporates, organizations, your own organization could be a startup, or else in academia, knows that they have to do a lot more than leader development. What are the other things? The second part, which is between 12 to 3, is team development, and that's another part of leadership development, which is how do you get the team to develop. Thereafter, move down to the part between 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. That is when you are doing development between entities. This is particularly important if the organization you work for or the organization you work in has different entities. Say, for example, the biggest organization in India, Tata, have many entities. So this part between 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock would be very important for bigger organizations. And then the final part, which is 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, is how do you then connect between these entities and individuals. This is actually the whole of this leads to proper leadership development. I wanted to share with you a visual which captured my imagination. There is an uncertain world we have moved through since the last 18 months, or let's say the 2 years. Okay. What has really happened? You know, due to work of some people, I would say, this tree, which is has been cut from the root, but it has not been destroyed when it was cut. Okay. Now, this is a rare example where nature resourced itself and held out through different branches. And this is an example of one such nature helping each other resourcing. This photograph taken from one of the best, which has come out last year in National Geographic, is also a metaphor to be used for our work around leadership. So what did and what does the world of 2022 hold for leaders? It seems that, not only leaders of organizations, but leaders of schools, which is principals, directors and deans of academic institutions, including, heads of families, are often expected to have an answer to lots of things. And they feel, oh, this is the context. Do I have the right answer? And that's a pressure to deliver. Now, so therefore, as they try to prepare an answer in uncertain times, there is a tension between preservation. What is preservation? As a leader, you know that you could do something different, rapid innovation. Look, the very fact that we are here on Zoom on this webinar is an innovation. When you do rapid innovation, there's a possibility of betterment. And then there is constant shifting ground beneath our feet. Look, it's very contextual. So leaders are relentlessly exposed and challenged by complexity because the times are uncertain. So how will they cope up with this? That is the second part of my talk. How does nature resource itself? Nature does resource itself through unimaginable ways, and humans and organizations can also help resource itself. One thing which is probably happening in a big measure is leaders like you all and leaders in communities, leaders in various countries are paying real attention to the other. They're listening better, which is called attending. There's also a greater part of what is going on for them, which is understanding. The third part is a word which we often use, which is empathizing, which is to be able to put yourself in their shoes, and then helping, which is to take action, which is genuinely helpful to them. The art of thinking clearly helps you to not only think better, but cope with increased amount of a bias which creeps within us during uncertain times. The bias of confirmation. We often try to confirm our own belief as true. But is that really true? I will help myself to facilitate significant bounce back ability, which is something around resilience, that in uncertain times that you deal with your own confirmation bias. Is this right because I am thinking it's right? Or is this right and I need to confirm it with maybe scientists, physicians, neighbors, people who know better? Or am I doing too much amount of confirmation bias, which is asking so many people that deep within there is an insecurity? So leaders need to watch out for that. Resilient leadership is what will help you. And then, what do I ask you to resource? Look, that tree which helped out with the branch and help the other tree to stand. Here, what you can do is find out something which is called, what's your real self? It's crisis. It's in these uncertain times brings out the best in many a person. And the intersection between the real self, which is the real me, the real other, the real neighbor, the real physician, the real community help. What is really the situation? So, in the intersection of these three lies real leadership. So, real leadership, how do you recover in uncertain times? If you tap into your own self, this is very important. I have a fundamental belief that all leaders and people like yourselves have something within you which will help you overcome uncertain times. You have collaboration, you have empathy within you, you have calmness, but the main thing is, are you able to tap it? Are you able to delve into it? Because now is the time to tap into these things which are within yourself, which is in your potential, and do not allow interference to reduce your performance.
Thank everyone.
Yes.
I'm Naman. I just want to thank Anamitra sir and everyone for having me in this session. It was quite informative and gave us the perspective. So all of us, we have been struggling to cope up with our works, our way of life for 2 years, and we are evolving. But these different viewpoints, these definitely help and broaden the horizon.
Thank you, Naman. Being a faculty, it's always so good to hear. Thank you for listening.